This is Roland in Studio B, where live broadcasts are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. And on a rainy Monday afternoon, what better way to get it picked up than some live music? Vaden Landers, all the way from Asheville, North Carolina, here today.
Thank you, folks, for having me.
Yeah, man, thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing the band.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they were pretty willing to come.
They look like nice folks.
Yeah, somewhat.
It's the Vaden Landers band. They're playing live today. Songs from the new record, which we've enjoyed, called Broken Down and Honky Tonk Bound. What's your first song today?
That one.
All right, live music on WNCW today from the Vaden Landers Band, all the way out of Asheville, North Carolina, and the title track to the new record, Broken Down, Honky Tonk Bound.
Absolutely.
It feels like, I don't know, like these are songs that were earned on this record. Like, is there a story on that one?
Yeah, there is. Well, there's a local bar that we play at. You know, they have an event there called Western Wednesdays, which it's a great little event. You know, and all the local country bands have a place to hang out and play, you know, and they have good dancers and whatever. So I wrote that song about just kind of, you know, having a breakup and a hard time and then going and dealing with it there. But probably not the best place to do it. But, you know, at the same time, that's what that song's about. Kind of perpetuating bar culture in a way, I guess.
Yeah, there's like some topics, themes that just keep turning over again, don't they?
Right, totally, yeah. They don't get old, you
Right.
know, especially in this genre of music, you know.
Yeah. Talk about the record a little bit.
It was a lot of fun to record. You know, did it at Big Tone Records down in Bristol, and it was really fun to use the equipment. You know, it's all analog, all old equipment. It's old mics, whatever. The songs were a lot of different, like collection of different songs that I've written over time about various different things, but just kind of put them all together, and then had, you know, some people to believe in me enough to want to record it, and then put it out. And I didn't think really anything of it. I didn't think anything was going to happen, and people really ended up liking it. So yeah.
I have to tell you, when I first listened to this record, I just kind of assumed there were covers on here. It just has that kind of classic feel to it. And then I was like, wait a second, he wrote all of these songs.
Thank you. Yeah. I get that a lot. People. Well, I try to write music that's familiar, but you know, not at the same time. Like, you know, I've heard that before, maybe, you know, but at the same time, it's brand new.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, like, listen to this record, you could hear on that first song, this is music that's hearkening way back across the decades.
Way back. Yeah. I tend to try to do the between the 40s and the 60s kind of era style, like the country and soul and hillbilly boogie and jazz, you know, all kinds of
Western
stuff.
swing
Blues,
kind of
Western
stuff.
swing, you know, all that stuff.
Why that period? What is it that draws you?
I don't know. I just think the best music was really written back then. It had a sound and an intensity and a presence, and it was presented in a way where, like, you know, people just don't do that anymore. They don't present music like that anymore.
Do you like the cultural context? We're coming out of the war. You're going into the 50s.
Exactly.
That whole,
Yeah. There were some heavy things going back then. You know, like, so they had like, I feel like the stories are more, you know, personal. You could understand what people were really going through in that time by just listening to their songs. And everybody wrote about different things, so it, you know, you learn about them, you know. So I tried to just teach people about myself when I write my music, you know.
Yeah, in that period, you're also starting to get genres coming out, but they're still kind of sloppy and washing together. You
Totally,
know?
yeah. But at least there was only just a couple, you know. There's Western swing, there's hillbilly music, there's country, and then there's jazz. And there was not, you know, like, there's not cowpunk or whatever, you know, have all this stuff anymore, you know. You get lost in genres and classifications. I just call it country music or roots music.
Yeah, well, and the record is beautiful in that. It just like, no, we're not putting it in a box.
Right, totally, yeah. It's like a free bird, you know. Just like try not to contain it too much.
Yeah. Who's in the band today?
We got Mick Glasgow on the upright bass, and Stacey Ann doing the drums and backup vocals, and then Scott Murray playing the pedal steel and the hairdo.
Oh yeah, looking good.
Yeah, that's what we call it, which is, you know, its nickname.
Everyone's got to be called something, right?
Yeah, it's soapbox and sticky and.
they don't have mics; they can't say what they call you. So
You don't want to know. Troublemaker.
we're talking about Vaden Landers. How long's this band been together?
About a year. About a year. You know, maybe a little under, maybe a little over. I mean, but me and Stacey have played for quite a while. We did a little band called the Do Rights for a while, and then Mick joined, and then we just dropped the whole name, and then did the just the Vaden Landers band because it's having a core band, just them different lead players coming in and out. But Scott's been with us pretty steady for a while now.
Do you ever mix other voices, other instruments in, or is this you keep it in this quartet?
Sometimes we'll have fiddle or have a guy that plays like electric mandolin, kind of like Bob Wills style, like electric mandolin, and that's pretty much it. I don't really get too crazy with the, but eventually we're thinking about doing some stuff with like horns and but
even Bob Wills threw some horns in there.
Oh yeah, right? So. Absolutely, yeah, he did it well too.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's let some folks know about some of your dates coming up. We'll get another song. You've got a show tomorrow night, right? The Swing Dance.
Yes,
there in Asheville. Where is that? That's at
the block off Biltmore. It's on Eagle Street.
Yeah.
It's like they have a tutorial before the gig. So you can learn or teach swing dance. Like hang out and learn, and then the band plays from 9 to 11, and you can test what you learned or get or whatever practice. It's a good platform just for like new and old dancers to come together and enjoy some music and.
So that's tomorrow night. Then you got a big show coming up Friday up at the Gray Eagle. You're part of that huge Dolly Day 2020.
Yes, that's my first year doing it, but it's been a couple years. I think they've done it now, 2 or 3 years. But this is my first year doing it. I'm only singing 2 songs. I really just did it just so I could see all the other amazing singers do it. Because
the Dolly in question would be Dolly Parton.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, but then. We play every Sunday downtown at the Asheville Club. We have a weekly residency, and we do it as this setup here every week,
so
3 to 6.
A lot of shows in the area, but if folks want to check it out, probably your Facebook page.
Yeah, Facebook page and diglocal.com. They're all in there, too. But I post about every show that I play, just, try to get people to come out. But
cool.
Yeah.
Vaden Landers Band playing live on WNCW and another song.
All right, we're going to do one called Barstool Blues.
It's WNCW, the Vaden Landers Band playing live today. Another one of those barroom songs, huh? Barstool Blues.
That's a good. That's one of my favorites off that record, and I was listening to a lot of Merle Haggard when I wrote that song. Yeah, as you can tell.
Yeah, who are 5 singers that totally shape what you've become?
Jimmy Rogers, Hank Williams. Lefty Frizzell, early Johnny Paycheck and George Jones, definitely, or probably all 5.
When did you come to this music? Most kids aren't here in old country. When did it grab you?
Well, I was shown a little bit of it, when I was younger, but because my grandfather was, he was into Elvis and Johnny Cash and Hank Williams and Jimmy Rogers, but he also liked soul music, like James Brown and like I'm trying to think of the name. Whatever, funk music, all kinds of stuff. He played in rock bands, like Bob Seger's type stuff. So like I got showed a lot of different kind of music, but I really didn't get super hardcore into country music until I was probably like 15 or 16 or so, doing like a lot of research myself. Finding records, that I was like, I want to find more people who sound like Jimmy Rogers or people who sound like Hank Williams, but it's 2 of the easiest to find because there's so many imitators. And so I found a lot of music just from those 2 people, and pretty much everybody I love is found through those 2 musicians. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. You spent a lot of time busking, traveling around.
Yeah, rode trains for years, and then learned how to play guitar on riding trains and traveling. And I played banjo before I played guitar, so just carrying a banjo on my back, walking.
That seems to kind of fit the ethos of the music you're playing in the era too.
Yeah, a lot of those guys did it. Like. Most of them, like Bob Wills, Jimmy, Hank rode trains. I mean, they all did, yeah. But just for mostly just to get around, not for like any like wild, whatever, just to get out of wherever you're going. But yeah.
Busking teach you how to be a musician, how to perform, right? I mean,
yeah, it's busking is one of those things where like you can really like hone in your craft by just getting it's like paid practice. So you can like sit on the side of the street, and play the same song you've played 600 times, and you just get better and better and better at it. And you get you get to know how to read people and like what somebody wants to hear and what makes money and what doesn't, what people, stop and listen to and what catches people's attention and what doesn't.
You get a couple minutes, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's like, like, and you get good at making up slogans, that, like whatever, just to attract people's attention. You try to make it more like a show than what it really is. Some people don't look at it like that, but I do. I mean, anytime I pick up a guitar or play, it's a performance. I'm not I do it for myself, but I also do it because I enjoy people's reactions.
So you're getting more shows now, the dance things, but also sit down shows, listening shows.
Yeah.
Does the busking come into that? I mean, how's the performer then and the performer now?
Well, then I would say I was not as professional at that point, but like I said, I learned and like honed in a craft to learn like what not to say, what what to do, whatever. But then we just did Radio Bristol, with down at the museum, and that was really fun, and ended up being a pretty high volume show. There's a lot of people there, and that's a sitting room only type of deal. And
that's a cool venue, cool show.
Yeah, I love it. And then, but yeah, I mean, busking and aside from just performing, it's night and day. It's no similarities to it at all. It's like busking, you're pretty much going to be sitting down to people walking by, and you're going to have pretty much the biggest crowd you'll ever play for in your entire life, unless you're just like some huge person. But and it's harder to get people to come, because there's a lot more that comes into play than playing shows, like trying to get people to come to shows and promotion, all that stuff. Just like there's a lot more that goes into it. So it's a little different than just sitting down on the sidewalk and then just hoping people pay you for it.
Cool. We're talking with Vaden Landers and the Vaden Landers Band. This new record is called Broken Down, Honky Tonk Bound. Yep. Yeah, want to do another song?
Yep. This one's off that album called Unchain My Heart.
All right, it's WNCW, Vaden Landers and his band playing live today here in Studio B, and that one called Unchain My Heart. Again, just has that classic kind of honky tonk country sound. Hank would like it, huh?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I pretty much, I got a lot of ideas of songs from listening to Hank Williams. I can just take a lot of those songs, really, even the new ones, old ones, take like one word or even one note he, says or whatever, the one lyric, and I'll write a whole song off of it just because that it's just, he was just prolific, unbelievable. It was just untouchable.
It still works, man. Like they still speak to you.
Yeah,
generations
absolutely.
later, they just still touch something that's
right. I mean, he really laid out the foundation like perfectly, like for anybody who follow in the footsteps, just to do it almost with ease. If you have a soul and a heart and you feel things, you can pretty much write a Hank Williams song.
You're getting ready to do a new record, you were saying.
Yeah, we're going down to Nashville, thanks to Stacy and Mick and a few other people that down at the bomb shelter to record, and a friend of ours, John James Torville, is going to be producing it, and yeah, we're really excited about it. It's going to be, the first one we've done is this outfit completely, 'cause it was pretty much the same band as on that record, but a few different people. John James played pedal steel on that record. But yeah, so we're really, really excited about it.
You're talking about the difference between busking and playing in a seated room. How about going into a studio? That's got to be something you have to learn how to do, right?
Man, the studio is the hardest thing about being a musician. It's so hard. It's for some people it isn't, but some people it is. I mean, it's there's a lot of pressure, you don't really understand until you're there, how hard it really is, because you have all the time, to lay it out and arrange it and make it exactly the way that you want it to, there's a lot of different creative differences in the room, so you have to like suit and compromise the people, but same time it's not easy, but at the same time it's pretty easy on that record, it wasn't too bad.
Got to be something you get better at too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's only this will be my third time in fourth time in a real studio.
Yeah, and with a band you really got a good vibe with.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're trying to go for like kind of straightforward, another honky tonk record, and then adding some kind of like 40s, 50s, like hillbilly boogie, kind of like rockabilly stuff. So it's like, you know, trying to change it up just a smidgen.
Yeah.
But do everything, you know.
Yeah, well, looking forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
Again, let's some of these shows. We've got a bunch of dates coming up. Tomorrow night's the swing dance down there at the Block off Biltmore. Dolly Day is on Friday up at the Grey Eagle with a whole bunch of artists.
Yes.
What else have I got written down? In Charlotte, you got a show on the 20th.
Yeah, it's Snug Harbor.
Snug Harbor,
Mhm.
yeah. The auditorium in Asheville, that's January 24th.
Yes, that's with Brody and Gracie. Yeah, which is Gracie will actually be doing the Dolly tribute too, I think, isn't she? Yeah.
Cool. And lots of other dates too. So again, you can get details at Facebook.
We could pretty much make a whole show just about
You can talk forever. Vaden Landers and his band playing live. Once again, who's in the band today?
It's a Scott Murray playing the pedal steel, and Mick Glasgow playing the upright bass, and Stacey Ann doing the backup vocals and drums.
Band sounds great.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. Maybe get one more song before you head out.
This is one we're going to do off our brand new record. This one's called Lemon Pie.
All right, just WNCW, some lemon pie for your Monday afternoon. All right, I got to ask, did it take a long time to learn to do the
No, it's a like a vocal warm up technique. So it's it's you can, it's fun. I just thought it was funny, so I just thought I would add it in. But I don't know, lemon pie is kind of tarty, so it makes you kind of like seize up, make you do something silly.
Oh, I got it. Yeah. You should go down the street doing that and just. Vaden Landers in the band. Thanks for coming in, man. It sounded great.
Thank you so much. Have us back anytime.
We will do it again for sure. Thanks to everyone in the band. Sounded good. Live broadcasts on WCW are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. And we get a song now from the Texas Gentlemen.
Like it is, 1, 2, 3, 4.